Okay, let's go through these one by one. So for A, right, we have 3 1/5 times 7/4. Again, I am going to always convert into improper fractions. So that's 15 16/5 times 7/4, right? And then whenever possible, we're going to cross cancel. So 16 and 4 becomes 1 and 4. And now we multiply the numerator and we get 28 and the denominators and we get fifths. So A is 28 fifths. And I'll try to keep as many of these on the page as I can, but we'll probably only get through 2 before I have to clear 2 or 3. Okay, 5 to the third. This one we could do 2 ways, right? We could think of it as 5 to the third, right, times 4, right? It's negative, right? The whole thing is negative because positive times negative. All over 5. We could think of it this way. And then we could cancel, right? We could have the 5 to the third and the 5 leaves us with, I'm going to write it over here, a 5 squared in the numerator. And that makes it a little easier for us. So the answer is negative 4 times 25, right? Or negative 100 for B. Again, when you can cancel, cancel. Okay, so C, we can fit these here, I think. So C, 2 to the 4th times 5 to the over 8. So let's do the same thing here. 2 to the 4th times 5 over 8, right? 8 is 2 to the 3rd, right? So that makes it a little easier, right? So now we can cross cancel. Or we can cancel, and we cancel 2 to the 3rd and 2 to the 4th, and we're left with a 2 in the numerator. So this just becomes 5 times 2, which is 10. Again, this is just one way of doing these. You could multiply it all out and then cancel at the end. I just always feel it's easier to cancel at the beginning. Okay, for D, we have negative 1/2 times 3 squared, right? So that's negative 1 times 3 squared over 2. So that's negative 1 times 9 over 2, negative 9 halves for D. And let's move on. So I need to make some space here. So we'll go on from E. So E, we have negative 5/6, plus 1/2 squared. 1/2 squared is 1/2 times 1/2, that's 1/4. Now we need a common denominator, so I'll take 12 as my common denominator. So that's negative 10/12 plus 3/12. That's negative 7/12 for E. And F, let's see if I could do that here. F, we have negative 4/5 squared. Negative 4/5 squared is negative times negative is positive, so that's 16 25ths, right? 4/5 times 4/5 minus 3/50. We need a common denominator, so that's 32/50 minus 3/50 is 29/50, which cannot be reduced, so we can leave it as that. Let's make some more room now for G and H. So G, we have 3/10 squared, so that's 9/100, minus negative 2/5 squared. Negative 2/5 times negative 2/5 is positive 4/25, right? Now we need a common denominator. 9/100 minus, that would be 16/100. So that gives us negative 7/100 for G. And the last one, H. Let's see if we can fit it here. I think we can. H, we have 8 squared, which is 64. Oh, let's leave it as 8 squared. Let's just, they're subtracting. Okay, so it's 8 squared. How can I write this best? Times 7, right, over 8. And that's negative, right, because it was negative 7/8, minus 1/2, right? So we can cancel first, right? This 8 squared and the 8 leaves an 8 in the numerator, right? So we could do that to save a little work. So this is negative 56, right? 7 times 8, minus 1/2. So we need common denominator, right? Or we could leave it as a mixed number, but let's get a common denominator. So 2. So that's negative 112 halves minus 1/2. That's negative 113 halves. Negative 113 halves. Right up here, I mean, this is a trade-off. Right up here, we probably could have just written negative 56 and a half, right? Because we're adding a negative half to negative 56. But just to stay consistent, I put them into fractions and got a common denominator.